The BBC, the usual hysterical boffins and Boris Johnson seem to think the government can cancel my Christmas and yours for a second year in a row, if they so desire. Ho, 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 hell no, no, no. They've got another thing coming. If they think Brits are going to consent to that level of control by the evil Grinches this year, newsflash, our Christmas, and then our January and our February and our March too, is not theirs to take away, Omicron or no Omicron. I, for one, will never grant the government that level of control over my life again, come what may, and to hell with the consequences. We've learned the hard way that the people making these rules have no respect for the law themselves because they're largely perfunctory guidelines that are impossible to enforce. Especially now we know the PM's official spokeswoman was joking about the fact they had seemingly broken the spirit of the rules at least, and possibly the law themselves, by hosting a Christmas party at number 10 Downing Street just after cancelling Christmas for millions of us.
I've just seen reports on Twitter that there was a Downing Street Christmas party on Friday night. Do you recognise those reports?
I went home. Hold on.
Would the Prime Minister condone having a Christmas party?
What's the answer?
I don't know.
It wasn't a party, it was cheese and wine.
Just be clear, it's not.
Is cheese and wine all right?
No.
It was a business meeting.
I'm joking.
Is this recorded? This fictional party was a business meeting. And it was not socially distanced. One more, and then ask anybody have any questions today?
We all know this wasn't a fictional party. This was a very real party. And it stinks to high heaven because these were the people who were stealing Christmas away from us, who were stopping us spending our last festive season with our dying relatives or with our newborn nieces and nephews. It's outrageous. And actually, it looks like Westminster journalists may have been in on this too. Rupert Myers has tweeted tonight to say, let's be clear about this. There are Westminster journalists who attended the Downing Street Christmas parties and helped cover them up, who deserve to never work in journalism again. Who were these journalists? We need to find out. But ever still, the drumbeat is getting louder, folks. That moronic fool and scaremonger Neil Ferguson says Omicron is doubling every 3 days. Cue panic. The broadcasters and most of the newspapers spread his hysteria. Flagship BBC broadcasts talk of little else than whether Brits will obediently follow new restrictions and feverishly speculate about Boris having to cancel Christmas. I'm almost starting to believe the BBC wants that to happen.
Leaves all of us with immediate Christmas dilemmas. To party or not to party, to snog or not to snog, see older relatives for a mince pie and a hug, or pass on that this year.
I thought we'd start by getting a sense of how excited or worried you are about Christmas 2021. How are you all feeling?
Can you say with any confidence at the moment that people can keep their Christmas plans?
And with the changing COVID landscape, we'll be asking if we can really have a normal Christmas this year.
The BBC is obsessed with cancelling Christmas. But there's very little reporting from them on the fact that Omicron appears to be a milder variant that hasn't resulted in one COVID death anywhere in the world yet, as far as we know. But that doesn't matter. The lockdown zealots are circling. Politico reported today that government insiders confirmed once again that work from home could be brought back if Omicron's transmissibility puts the NHS under strain. How utterly ridiculous. If this is the new playbook, then we are doomed to a life of restrictions and shutdowns forevermore. Because let me tell you, new variants are a fact of life. But yesterday, Boris continued to play this unique form of psychological torture by teasing the potential for new regulations thanks to Omicron.
Still waiting to see exactly how dangerous it is, what sort of effect it has in terms of deaths and hospitalisations.
Just give it up. Theresa May was an appalling Prime Minister when it came to delivering Brexit. She failed. But she actually would have been the right person to be in charge at the moment as politicians, the media and officials failed to deal with COVID-19.
When is the government going to accept
that learning to live with COVID, which we all have to do, means we will almost certainly have an annual vaccine, and that we cannot respond to new variants by stopping and starting sectors of our economy, which leads to businesses going under and jobs being lost.
Never did I think I'd see the day when I wanted Theresa May back as Prime Minister. Meanwhile, it really does feel like those in power want to destroy every aspect of Christmas joy. First, Tesco gave Santa a vaccine passport, and now the NHS is using St Nick to pimp booster jabs to the elderly in an advertisement starring Martin Kemp.
This winter, vaccinations are the best form of protection to keep ourselves and our loved ones safe. So whatever you've got planned, it's not too late to get vaccinated.
It's nothing sacred. I have no desire to wish anyone a happy COVID Christmas. We've got to learn from the past that the only way for this madness to end is for us all to claim back our own freedoms. So I will be having a very Merry Christmas where COVID regulations and restrictions on our freedoms and way of life are banished. If you do the same, then our so-called leaders might finally get the lesson that we're not going to take this for another minute.